Hi, my name is David Gonzalez. I'm currently a PhD student at UCLA. I was born in Monterrey, Mexico, but I grew up in a town right outside of Houston, Texas called Pearland. When I was 18 years old, I moved to Southern California, where I eventually transferred to UCLA to study chemistry. After that, I applied to graduate school in the Department of Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences at UCLA, where I currently study the chemistry of air pollution and how it relates to human health. Initially at UCLA, I studied organic chemistry, where I synthesized various chemicals for uses that I really didn't understand. And even though I liked it, I just couldn't see the bigger picture in what I was doing. So I took a step back from that research and thought to myself, what could I do with my chemical education that I could apply to the real world and help people? That's when I met Suzanne Paulson at UCLA, professor of atmospheric chemistry. And I learned that you can use chemistry to study air pollution and fix the problems that are associated with air pollution. So for me, it was important to use my education to better society and to better the health of the people around me. And with air pollution, the air we breathe is one of the most essential things that human beings need to survive. So we need clean air to thrive as people. For me, that is one of the most important things to study. So my research at UCLA focuses on the health impacts of air pollution. We know through epidemiological studies that inhalation of PM 2.5 is associated with higher incidence of diseases and even death. We just don't know how it causes that. What we think happens is when you inhale these tiny particles and they get lodged into your lung, they produce things called reactive oxygen species. Reactive oxygen species are things like hydrogen peroxide, hydroxyl radical, superoxide. These are very reactive molecules that react with things like DNA and white blood cells in your lung. The byproducts of those reactions are what we think cause these negative health effects. And we seek to quantify which chemicals in PM 2.5 cause that. So air pollution still remains a problem throughout the world. And the inhalation of these air pollution causes a series of health effects that are detrimental to humans. These health effects are things like asthma, heart attack, stroke, cancer. All these types of diseases have higher incidence when you have worse air quality. So it's in the public interest to improve air quality such that we can improve the public health for people. People that go outside to breathe the air, whether they're exercising, walking, whatever they're doing, have no choice but to breathe that air. So it's our responsibility to make sure it's as clean as possible for the public. So historically, Los Angeles has been very well known for its air pollution, or smog as we call it. In LA, the main contributors to smog are vehicle emissions. So when the gasoline starts to burn in your engine and then is released through your tailpipes, there are gases that are released. They're called NOx and VOCs. When these VOCs get released into the atmosphere and there's sunlight around, they start to cook. And as these molecules start to cook up in the atmosphere, they become stickier. And byproducts of that are ozone and little particles. Now, ozone and little particles, upon inhalation, are what cause these health effects. So we've come a long way in terms of air quality within the past few decades. And the way we've done so is through the passage of the Clean Air Act. The Clean Air Act is a federal law which regulates various air pollutants. And one of the many air pollutants that are regulated under the Clean Air Act are these tiny particles that I mentioned called PM 2.5. We introduced a technology called the catalytic converter and a policy like Smog Check that drastically improved air quality all throughout the United States. So it's no coincidence that with these new policies, these new technologies, that health has improved. And today we can say that people are living happier and healthier lives.